Our next show match. Oh, we got Kwark versus Strudel. Best of 5 on the map Blindside, being featured in Season 4 SDPL. Let's see what you got, Kwark. 2 spawning positions. Strudel is at 12 o'clock. Representing Ash, it's Kwark. Currently in the US and should change his tag.
Sorry, I was trying to catch up in the chat. I ignored it for a little while.
Shame on you.
What up? Is this Discord? We gotta get a name to stick to him because he's always changing it. Is this Discord? Is this a Twitch stream? Is this Brood War?
Those are great nicknames.
They are.
I'm waiting for him to disappear so I can steal them.
What up, question? Ooh, I got Strudel. Cool.
Yep. So he's A rank now. I believe he was B rank. Or he just reached A rank last season at the end. Representing Argentina. The Pato and Jengi. There's
Dun 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 dun.
never gets old.
No, that's the thing. You know what? I mean, most video games anyone's ever played, if they played extensively, there's very few times that you can keep listening to the music. I think Final Fantasy series is one of them, but this is probably the only other game series that I'm like, keep the music on always. Right. You know. Is it a matter of nostalgia? Or, I mean, I feel like this is just good music. What about...
No, if it was bad, I don't think anybody would have a tolerance for it.
Yeah, what do you guys think in the chat? Give us your thoughts on the StarCraft music.
Everybody must play with music on. I can't imagine anybody turning it off. As far as streams go, I don't know. It's always on or sometimes. Alright, so Strudel's gonna see what's going on. It doesn't matter in this game.
Kind of surprised. Has Kwark not scouted?
He has not.
See, I want to say he did the same thing the last Showmatch series that I watched him. I don't think he likes to scout.
On this build, you don't need to scout because you're good against whatever. And I'm just going to pick a Nexus, I believe. I think it's going to be 23 Nexus. There's a very good guide to doing 23 Nexus on Jinjin's YouTube channel, which I recommend people watch. It's a guide by Light, who's a Terran, but he knows PvP. And Jinjin translated it. But you just don't need to scout because there's nothing you can find that's going to change what you do. Getting a goon there slightly earlier when you have no degree in range isn't going to change anything. And there's no information you could get from scouting that's going to change your 23 Nexus. So why scout? I think the scouting is going to happen with a 25 Robo. Although this was, I think, like a month ago now, so I don't remember the game exactly.
But I mean, if your Terran opponent actually went like a 2-fact opening, you would want to know. I mean...
No, you'd be fine. So I suspect I'm going to have 2 more gateways very soon, and the reason for that is because you need to be safe against 2 facts. And if I'm following Light's guide correctly, then I will be safe against 2 facts because I will add the gateways. I don't always follow it correctly, although I always should. But it's actually a very interesting build because normally, if you're good at the game, one of the things you learn is that you don't add extra gateways unless your gateways you have at the moment are running constantly. But what Light explains is that you don't need units to defend yourself against an unknown range of builds. You need unit production capacity to defend yourself. Because if most of the time you're fine with like 5 dragoons, you don't want to make 8 dragoons if you don't need 8 dragoons. What you want is the capacity to make 8 dragoons very quickly if it turns out you did need them. So instead of using supply and building units, you can actually defend yourself much more cheaply by building excess capacity. And then you can adapt if it turns out you did need them. But most of the time you don't need them, so you come out ahead by just having the capacity rather than the units. It was a really cool thing that he explained, and it blew my mind because again, most of the time you think, well, I shouldn't be building extra gateways if my gateways aren't active. That just doesn't make any sense. But it makes so much sense when you think about it. It's like, holy shit, Korean's on a different level. And this is a very quick observer that we're going to see here. And I just saw that he had siege mode as well, so I'm thinking that this is a very passive Terran opening. I'm not very afraid of this.
It's very unfortunate.
Oof.
It's sloppy, but I mean, again, it's
Fuck that
I've
dragon.
got money. I can do goons.
Tree was no cover.
Can siege mode miss? It's a splash attack, so it shouldn't be able to miss, right?
Do what? Yeah, if you're behind a tree, it's the same thing as like being up the hill or something like that. I think it's less. Like it's not as much dodge. What
No
is
way.
it? If you're uphill, it's like 60%.
It matters if you're
Dodge.
behind a tree or not?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
I
From
played
having
the
played
game.
this game before. Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that was a thing. I mean, that's kind of cool. I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
but I mean it's
Oh,
not like
so-
being uphill. So I think if you're going uphill, your accuracy drops to like 60% maybe, and if you're behind a tree, it's like 70.
In my experience, if you're behind a tree, nothing will ever hit you. Having seen that in games,
Maybe it is the same. Maybe someone needs to look that up. Look into that. What's the percentage?
so I really should have an observer in his base right now, camping his factories, and I don't, which is sloppy as fuck. Because the whole point of this build is an observer rush. You get an observer in their base, you work out the situation, you adapt. There we go. Because I'm taking my third before the observer gets there, and that is not what you're meant to do. You're meant to take your third once you establish that the third is the right play.
That's a lot of idle probes. Come on, Kwark.
I always idle probes. I always have like 10 idle probes.
Gather,
in my
gather,
bases.
gather. Mine. I don't know. His probe count's so far ahead, it doesn't really matter at this point.
And I've seen the quick CC, which means that I know there's nothing happening for quite a while. So I can just get my tech out, I can get my bases. I'm fine. I'm still staying on like a low gateway count, and I'm not making mass units here. They don't need the units. I've got all these gateways, but they're not making anything. Because the whole point of the gateways was for the capacity to defend myself if I get the observer in there and I see 6 factory. But if I see nothing, then I can just hold off. I don't need to commit to making units.
It's a nice little safe build. Gives you a plan B.
I don't think I've actually seen a full TVP on this map. I think all the games that I've watched has been either PVZ or TVZ.
Might be true.
I want to say maybe Scan and
Yoon played on it and you watched.
Yoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Body
Scan
versus
and
Striker.
Yeah. And I want to say there was one more.
Got in here.
DeWalt and
Suzuki.
someone else.
So the map is being featured in the new season of STPL, and I'm very happy about that. It is a great map and a long time has been spent.
Oh yeah. Like I said, this is so much fun to watch. It is a great map for just about any matchup. But there's no way I would ever be good on this map. I'm not good enough of a player. But man, watching these high ranked players play on this map, oh, it's fun, dude. It's so good.
I really don't think I want to attack here. This doesn't seem like it's going to be a very smart thing to do.
Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh.
You got the swarms
Oh,
up.
storm.
Oh,
He lost a
yeah, that
couple
was
high
a bit.
tempo. There we go. He's really thinning out this tank count.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't actually have many units because I never made many units. I was just seeing the opportunity and going for it. But that was never trying to kill him because I was trying to go for an economic victory, not a military victory.
Right.
That was just I just happened to have some dragoons and some high tempo, and there were a bunch of clumped up tanks. So I figured, why not get some tank kills while I can?
Ooh. Fast
My Arbiter
Arbiter?
Tribune is that's slow Arbiter. I stopped. I got Storm. I got High Templar, and then I forgot to go an Arbiter Tribunal for a while. By the look of it, but the Stargate's been done for quite a while at this point.
Yeah, the Arbiter Tribunal just finished too, and Arbiter's starting. So.
Yeah, and plus one
Got-
air is coming too.
Oh,
So I'm giving
oh
myself
wow.
options.
So Terran doesn't have mines yet. That's kind of surprising.
Well, he rushed siege mode and then just went for a defensive free base. But yeah,
Right,
it's,
right.
you would expect him to at least do something with the vultures, but he was just going to try and get free bases and then work from there. Does he have his two armories is the real question. If he doesn't have two armories, there isn't a late game.
He's getting
He's got
second.
one armory, second one coming now. Where is upgrade at? Okay, I don't
Okay,
hate it.
so good timing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ooh, got the storm off on the minerals. All right.
And we're moving up to 80 probes, which is some serious income.
That's about where you need to stop, though, is it not?
Yeah, I never stop.
Does anybody ever get 80 probes?
Yeah,
80
we
probes on
watched
4
it.
bases is a bit high.
It's a little high, yeah. I mean, 80
didn't know you
probes
get-
is pretty much your max that you ever want to get, because you can max out in like 2 minutes, you know, with Protoss once you get your gateways up. So you max out, maybe 3 minutes. You max out, throw your army at them. During the fight, you're already queuing more units, so you throw them at them again. It's just, but when you get 85, 90, 95 probes, your army size isn't as big, especially if you have arbiters. Arbiters are what, 6 supply, I believe?
4 supply.
4 supply? Okay. But even so, I mean, that's a lot. You get 3 arbiters, man. That's 12 supply. I mean, that's quite a bit.
Alright, well, Kwark is almost maxed out.
Yeah,
I
but
think-
half of it's probes. It does. If you take out the probes, then I've only got 100 supply of units. But I am going up to what's going to be 5 bases. This is actually probably helping me losing probes here. If you think about it, this is I had too many, and it was going to become an issue. I should really be grateful.
Yeah.
Now I'm
Oof.
getting +1 air armor. So the reason I'm doing this, I believe, is because there's a cybernetic core on a fleet beacon coming, which means that I can transition into carriers smoothly with my upgrades already started. I don't know why I haven't just recalled him at this point, but apparently I don't want to. So I'm just going to sit here and take bases, get money, build probes.
Well, I'm surprised in all this time Red just didn't take this expansion here at least.
Especially given there are only 6 mineral patches on the one he's mining. It's got a gap, but it's not a very rich expansion for minerals. You would expect him to
Well,
not
that's why
be
he's-
happy on that base.
Yeah, that's why he's taking this other one. I think it's going to have a few more mineral patches, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's got less. Wow. Hmm.
I don't know about this push. His tanks are very clumped. If the status
No.
gets off, then this is not going to work. And he needs to be like finding the arbiter with scan and
Yeah, he's
guaranteeing
really
he
got
gets
to.
EMP.
He's really got to spread or really use his ledges to his advantage.
He needs to be hunting for the arbiter too. He can't just like try and solve the arbiter issue once it shows up. He's got to comsat. He's got to find it. He's got to send out the vessel on a mission, take out the arbiter energy. If he doesn't take
Okay.
out the arbiter energy, he cannot win the fight.
I
And
feel
that's
kinda-
where he doesn't really want to be on that, right? Because it's blind spots without the science vessel and barracks.
Oh, he's been caught.
Oh, get the EMP off. EMP. No EMP.
That was a late siege.
Yeah.
Too many tanks, not
And I
enough
think
ultras for cover.
Terran's getting run over right here.
Yeah,
Zealots are on the tanks.
You
Stuck
just
in the
can't
middle of the
attack
map,
with
and
that
he
many
wasn't
tanks without
keeping an eye on
vultures.
where the Photos was, or where the he wasn't planning for what he was going to do when the Photos showed up. So he didn't have a. He did get the EMP off. He wasn't VC. He wasn't spread, and you can't recover from that fight. That fight is
Ooh,
in
carriers.
Loses the tanks and the vessel.
So I guess most of your supplies coming from the carriers
no
and
way.
probes. Oh my god, you're at 86. Stop making probes. It's more than NTT. He was just famous for making 70 or more SCVs.
It's PvT, and it looks like I'm going to try and play it safe, but I would be amazed if I didn't win this game at this position. I think I would have to try. So for the, he's got 3 gases, he's got good upgrades, but the carriers have upgrades as well. And I think I can just trade carriers for Goliaths. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
with
shoot
the economic advantage I had there, I could just lose carriers and rebuild them until eventually he ran out of minerals.
Game 2 on blindside. Same positions.
I missed the conversation about StarCraft sounds, but I have them turned off. I don't care for it. So it's StarCraft music.
Only Kwark would say that.
Yeah. Everyone else loves StarCraft music.
A controversial thing to say, but
Said you didn't care for it.
it bothers me.
Oh my god. Why? Why, God, why?
I'm doing a proxy apparently. I guess it's a 2-player map, so why not? This isn't going to be like a gas gel or anything, because it's way too late for that. This is just going to be like a pylon in the middle of the map, I guess. Somewhere like here, probably.
Wow, you're good, man. How'd
Question
you
is, why
get
would I do
this?
such a thing?
I mean, if he scouts, he's obviously going to see it.
Maybe 1 or 2.
That and the guy that's playing is also the guy that's casting.
It's right in the scout line. I mean, but there
Yeah.
aren't many areas that you could, well,
Well, the thing is,
Send
too,
him to
though,
go
is
get it. That
Terran
is a
usually
stupid
scouts
thing to do.
late.
Because the probe's going to show up in his base really early, and he's going to know exactly what's going on. There's only one build I could be doing, where there's going to be a probe in his base at a minute 30. And it's
I don't
this.
think alarm bells are going to ring for him.
There's only the one build that could be. Being
Shouldn't
annoying, but
shouldn't you do, like
the
double gate
annoying
right there?
value of the probe is not worth the giving the build away. With 1 gate, I'm expecting I'm going to take a gas and then transition to core back home. This is just
Right.
going to be putting some pressure on.
I don't know. I think on this map, if you got a Terran that's not going to block, man, 2 gates, that's tough to hold
Yeah,
off.
there's a gas.
No bunker.
2 devotes in a bunker is a really good counter. So 2 devotes in a you will I don't know about the bunker. Because this is only a 1 gate. I think he doesn't need a bunker to hold this. And it's not a huge investment if he does make one, but I think that with SCVs and Marines, he can actually just hold this using his buildings.
If you didn't make it, you would just keep
This
making
is a low
Zealots and sending
commitment
it to him.
attack for the Protoss.
I like it.
I'm not trying to win with the Zealots, I'm trying to win with the Goon follow-up. The Zealots are just trying to be disruptive.
But I think
the
you would have
bunker
kept
is,
making Zealots and sending it to him non-stop. If
He
you
didn't
make
need the bunker. What he needed to do would be making Marines constantly. So, and have just a larger number of Marines and no bunker.
I think you're just sour because you can't attack him right now.
I'm not going to do anything to him. They're not scary. Where's my range? I have the money for range. Why am I not getting range? This is terrible. Why would I not get Dragoon range? Dragoon range is a really good upgrade. This Protoss is an idiot. You gotta get Dragoon range.
Oh, that's quite harsh. Thought maybe you attack into DTs.
What is he doing? What could he possibly be saving 300 gas for? Ops are pretty strong on this map. You've got good access to the main from different angles.
Oh, you can't be losing 2 Marines already. If he hadn't lost those 2 Marines, I'd feel more confident that he could destroy Gateway and Pipeline.
Good. This might be some of the worst focus firing I've ever seen. So, can we take a look at how low all of those are? I suspect I managed to spread my damage completely evenly between all of them. The SCVs as well, I did like 3 hits on each S. Yep, look at that. It's actually impressive in its badness.
He could have taken you out.
Still no Goon range. Second gateway, Citadel, no Goon. I guess Protoss just doesn't need Dragoon range. Not a good upgrade. These Dragoons are fine. They don't need it.
Is that
He's
your
forgotten.
reason?
By he, I mean I. This is past the point where it could possibly be deliberate. This is accidental.
Alright, so mines have finished researching.
The question is, how much damage will the drop do? The DTs aren't going to do anything because of the minefield. Kwark is up. Oh, just 2, only up 3 workers. I'm surprised he doesn't have more workers than that. Oh, there's the Dragoon range. Okay, we're good. That's just a classic 6-minute Dragoon range starting timing.
I love how unbiased Kwark is. Which is funny because it's usually the other way around.
On the cliffs here. Well, that might be good. He's going around all the Dragoons though. The Dragoons are completely out of position. This should do a lot of damage. just, you don't need a dropship.
Yeah, right?
The vultures can just come in.
Yeah, but they don't have any
There are all these
mines.
walling buildings and there's nothing blocking the gap. So bad. He built a starport, he built a dropship, he slowly flew it around the edge of the map, and it turned out he didn't need to do any of that.
Oh, you got a DT
And the
in.
DT just walks through the mines.
Oh man,
That's really unfortunate how he laid the mines there.
that's tough.
Well, that's some bullshit.
He's got a comp set. He got 2 comp sets to make it. Oh,
Luckiest Protoss player ever. With his rangeless Dragoons. Come on, there they go. This guy's an idiot. He still doesn't have Dragoon range. Oh, there's a drop happening in his base as well. He's fine, he's just going to ignore the drop. It's all good.
Did he get the DT in the base? He did not. No.
This is getting to be a very scrappy game.
Yeah, it looks kind of over me though. But who knows? Ugh, 13
13 workers,
SCVs to
that's-
33. Yeah.
You can't come back from 13 workers. Even if the Protoss isn't mining his main. What a mess.
It's kind of a messy game, wasn't it? Yeah, I would have liked to see him push, kill your goons.
But that certainly was something. Had the DT not just walked through a minefield, eaten 2 mines, and still been alive, that could have been a very different game. Because the vultures did a shit ton of damage to the Protoss economy. It's just the DT killed 3 tanks. And then the goons wandered in with no range and killed all the SCVs.
All right, game 3. Same map. Different positions, though.
Game time Protoss at 12 up, turn at 6.
Is this the color you choose, Kwark?
Magenta.
You don't strike me as a color chooser. I don't even know him, and I make all kinds of assumptions.
Judgy, are we?
See this time?
Kwark is sophisticated. In my mind, he has like a pipe and he's smoking out of it. Making fun of my observing skills.
Terran didn't build the bunker, but did build Marines constantly. There's nothing the Protoss could have done to defend the gateway. The gateway would have fallen.
I think you could have taken down those goons and your gateway and pylon if you kept pushing. But send the SCVs first, so they
6
sort of
Marines, 2
observe some
vultures,
hits.
The SCVs. He's not killing that with 2 zealots and 2
You know,
goons.
one of the interesting things about this game is you spend so much effort making
Oh,
sure
Protoss is going for 12 next.
sort of everything's going your way. And then when it comes to micro battles, sometimes I don't think players step up their game and put even more
I
effort.
suspect it's going to be the variant of 12 next that I do as well, because it's the 2-player map, and that's the only time I think you'd logically want the 12 next on 2-player map.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm
there,
expecting this
honestly,
to be a 12
because
gateway, 13 gas, 15 core following it.
I'm actually the opposite. I spend too much attention to my battles and not enough on macro, and mining probes and things of that
12
nature.
gateway, 13 gas, 15 core, 15 zealot, 17 gateway.
But can you pull it off, though?
This map seems pretty long though, so I think that there's actually not going to be much opportunity for Terran to rush this. He's getting a decent scout timing on it, but it's not going to actually. There's not going to be much he can do with the scout timing. We're going to see it 230, which is about standard. Core, 15 setup. Question is, what's Terran going to do? He's taken his all 3 SCVs off gas, so he's just going to take his factory and then CC. I like it. I think that's a good response. There's no point not getting a factory if you've already mined the gas and committed to it. And but there's also no point trying to make the factory do more than it can. Oh, he does not want to lose that SCV. That's really bad because he now has no scouting information at all.
I don't hate it, though. For you.
And goon range starts the moment the core finishes. So yeah, there's going to be a 2-gate goon rush with goon range, which is pretending to be a fast expansion, but there's actually no economy behind it. There's only 16 workers.
I don't know about these zealots, Bork.
This is not a fast expand build at all. This is This is a Goon Rush that just has a Nexus in it. The question is, how well am I going to read what's going on? Am I going to identify that he's just taking a counter expansion and then attack? Because with the we're going to see slow mind, we're going to see slow siege mode in the Terran because of trying to respond to the fast expansion, which means that the goons could actually do more damage than you would expect. Mode. Vultures with no mines and siege tanks with no siege mode are not going to be able to hold range goons. I don't like this from Terran. He's got a wall, but the wall's not going to help.
Yeah, but if you liked it, you would have lost.
There are 2 Dragoons coming out every single gateway cycle, and they're just rallied across the map at this point. Range is basically done. There's range. Yeah, no siege mode, no mines. How's he going to help us? He can. Very, very narrow window for kiting, where his siege tank mode has more range than the Dragoons, but
Here
the
comes another
Dragoon
tank.
AI though is dying in a fire right here. Dragoons are just so confused. He's gonna break through. Yeah, broken through. And with no siege mode, no mines, and a bunch of range Dragoons, this is gonna happen. Still has no siege mode. I don't understand it. He's not upgrading any tech on his factories. This was always going to happen if he doesn't get siege mode or mines. Doesn't make any sense.
So it worked out for you?
I shan't question it.
JJ!